Sharon Bush, the former daughter-in-law of the late President George H.W. Bush, is not happy with her ex-husband, Neil Bush. According to a Page Six exclusive, Sharon wasn't welcome at the 41st Commander-in-Chief's funeral service on December 5th. Neil's secretary broke the news, reportedly telling Sharon the Washington National Cathedral was at capacity and there was simply no room for her. She told Page Six, "I was going to take the train down. I wanted to pay my respects. But I paid my respects by raising 3 wonderful children during a 23-year marriage." Sharon's ex, Neil, is the fourth of 6 children of George H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush, and is the younger brother of former President George W. Bush and former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Sharon took a jab at Neil by referencing his father's famous phrase, "1,000 points of light." Bush 41's name for America's volunteer network.
"I've spoken of 1,000 points of light, of all the community organizations that are spread like stars throughout the nation doing good."
Sharon told the tabloid that it was her, not Neil, the current chairman of the Points of Light nonprofit, who actually taught her children to be do-gooders, saying, "I taught them everything they know about Points of Light by taking them to soup kitchens and homeless shelters from the time they were 4 years old. I didn't want them spoiled. I did this. Neil was never around. He was always traveling." Sharon and Neil divorced in 2003. According to court documents, Neil admitted to cheating on Sharon with several women while he was visiting Thailand and Hong Kong on business. As CNN reported at the time, the women may have been prostitutes. As Neil says, they were all women he didn't know who simply knocked on his hotel room door. Neil, however, denied paying the women. The former couple's 3 adult children include philanthropist Lauren Lauren, who's married to Ralph Lauren's son, David. Lauren gave a reading at her grandfather's funeral, along with her sister, Ashley. Neil married his second and current wife, Maria Andrews, in 2004. George H.W. Bush passed away on November 30th, 2018, at the age of 94. The Bush family also sadly lost their beloved matriarch, Barbara Bush, in April 2018 after the former First Lady ended her treatment following a battle with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and congestive heart failure. She was 92 years old. George H.W.'s health began to worsen in the months after his wife of 73 years was laid to rest. Soon after his passing, George H.W.'s family, friends, and a number of high-ranking officials paid their respects at his high-profile funeral. The front pew alone featured a decidedly awkward row of former presidents and their wives. Considering the increasingly divisive socio-political climate, the atmosphere of this presidential pew was perhaps best described as icy by the BBC and produced several cringeworthy moments. Trump is well known for publicly bashing and bullying the people he was seated with, and he also mocked George H.W. Bush himself at a rally as recently as July 2018.
1,000 points of light. What the hell was that, by the way? 1,000 points of light. What did that mean? Does anyone know?
The current commander-in-chief reportedly ignored the Clintons and the Carters. Meanwhile, the Washington Post noted that, in turn, neither couple made eye contact with the sitting United States president. However, while Trump was notably absent at Barbara Bush's funeral earlier this spring, George H.W. reportedly requested that Trump attend his funeral. According to the Post, in doing so, the late president, quote, "put the dignity of the office and, by extension, the nation's dignity above all." For her part, Sharon Bush avoided the drama of the day altogether, according to Page Six, waiting 5 days to let the tabloids know she was told she couldn't attend. Watching the funeral on TV, Sharon was joined by Lady Gaga's mother Cynthia and publishing heiress Anne Hearst, granddaughter of newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst, for a lunch date.